All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday on Stock Market TV and the morning show. Spencer Israel, JC Parets, Steve Strazza, Alfonso de Pablos. Good morning, chat. How we doing? We're fired up today. It's a big day for the market. It's a big day for us here on the channel. We got a lot going on today. You may have heard that there's like a meeting at 2 o'clock. There's like a thing with the Fed. We don't care about the Fed. No. We got our own thing. We are counter programming the Fed today at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. If you have not signed up yet for this live event with JC Parets and Herb Greenberg today at 2, I don't know what you're doing, but it's right there on the chat. It's in the description. I will pin it to the top to the chat right now. And you should be there. They're going to talk about, actually, you know what? JC, Herb's going to come on the show right now. So we're in a half hour. So they'll preview this morning, what they're going to talk about today. So I'm not going to preview the preview. I'll let Herb and JC preview later on, like a half hour when Herb is here. So I'll let them speak to that directly. We got a lot of earnings coming in today, a lot of earnings. We are like in the heart of earnings season here. So a lot to get to. Okay, Herb, earnings, fast market. Let's roll. Smash the like, as always. Here we go.
Ho, we are back. I got a trivia question for everybody. Over the last 18 months, what is the best performing sector on an equally weighted basis? Last 18 months.
Communications.
Nope. Chat, anybody, last 18 months, best performing sector
Industrials.
on an equally weighted basis.
I know what it isn't.
Industrials.
Nope.
Industrials.
No, 0 for 2, Strazza. Let's go. Keep going.
I would have guessed industrials probably. I don't know. I don't look at the equally weighted stuff as often as you guys, so I kind of rely on you to tell me. So.
It might be discretionary just because of the beta.
Nope. 0 for 3. What else?
Is it staples?
Nope.
No, it's financials then.
Staples?
I don't know.
Where you been?
Financials.
Nope.
Really?
I give up then. I don't know.
Throw up slide 4, please, if you will. Sorry, not slide 4. Throw up slide 5. Slide 5.
It's Bitcoin, isn't it?
Nope. Throw up slide 5. Utilities up 45% over the last 18 months. Shout out to the utilities. Two Utes utilities on an equally weighted basis up 45%. Financials coming in number 2 at 32. Industrials just under 30. Technology at 26. Communications, Steve Strazza's guess, only 25% up. Consumer discretionary is up 20%. Just to show you, and I'm not picking on Steve, quite the opposite. Steve is probably one of the most in the know traders who's got his finger on the pulse of the market better than almost anybody I know. And despite that, even he couldn't tell you what the best performing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not picking on Steve. That's my point. Even Steve.
I would have kept guessing sectors before I got to utilities too.
I figured. Okay, now on a market cap weighted basis.
Yeah.
Wait. I want to give myself. Can I give myself a pat on the back because I knew that healthcare would be at the bottom.
No, as soon as you said consumer staples,
I didn't. Wait, no, but I knew that healthcare would be at the bottom. I didn't say it, but I knew it. So pat on the back to me.
Okay, don't change the slide yet. On a market cap weighted basis, Strazza, what is the best performing sector over the last 18 months?
Industrials.
Nope.
Communications.
Nope.
Bitcoin.
I don't know.
Throw up the next one there, Fonz. Utilities again. Again. Best performing sector on a market cap weighted basis over the last 18 months.
So it's where we're anchoring from then.
I mean, it's 18 months. I don't know, a year and a half. I mean, it's not really like anchoring from. It's just a year and a half. It's just pretty standard, rolling 18-month returns. No big deal.
I'm checking the data, chat. We're going to confirm this. Yeah, so they
bottomed. I'm showing you literally the data.
Yeah. No, so they bottomed on a relative basis first week of February of last year. So there you go. It's been all out performance for the last 18 months for utilities. Shocking to see that. And I think you want to play around with the different time frames because it's unusual for a bull market. However, I will say
let's give Wavy his props there. He knew it was utilities. Shout out to Wavy.
on a year-to-date basis, utilities are actually the leader too, crushing anything. Financials, number 2, basic materials. So that's interesting, JC. It's very interesting.
I got one more chart. I got one more chart for you. First of all, throw up slide 6, and then we'll go to 7. Slide 6 shows the utilities sector on an equally weighted basis, closing once again in new all-time highs, back-to-back weeks, closing in new all-time highs. You know, most of you guys, if I didn't label this and I told you it was semiconductor stock or some AI stock, you'd be all over it. You'd be all over it. Tell me I'm wrong.
All right. So what's the point you're trying to make? Do you want? Should we run out and go buy utilities?
Well, throw up the next slide there. My point is that utilities can be a market leader in bull markets. Utilities are not consumer staples. Utilities do not have to be defensive rotation.
You like make this talking point every bull market, and it's not one of your best, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look back throughout history, it's really only happened in a sustained and material way one time. But you keep talking about this one time. Would you make the bet that this were to happen again? In other words, with your money, would you put it on utilities, making the bet that they're going to be the leader in a new bull market?
Yes.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay.
You're a liar. There's no way. These stocks suck in bull markets is the truth. The vast majority of them.
All right.
I don't like it.
You don't have to like reality, right? Like in reality, it's not healthy to eat cannolis for breakfast. But despite all of that, you do it anyway. You know, we all agree in society that it is stupid to spend your summers in Florida and your winters in Connecticut. We all agree that that's dumb. You do it anyway. Like you live your life, bro. Like, we're not judging you. Like, you do what makes you happy. But you can't argue with the facts.
You don't own utilities.
I own I clearly don't own enough utilities.
They're not bull market vehicles.
Okay.
You can't agree with that?
All right.
They're not.
Shall we do a little state of the markets? I got a good one.
You cherry picker, you.
You know better than that. All right, let's cherry pick some indexes here in the United States, and you know, let me know if I'm cherry picking. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, the world's most important stock market index, doing nothing this morning. 44,830. You got the S&P 500 futures. I'm also cherry picking the second best index in the world here, 6412, up 7 handles this morning. NASDAQ 100 futures leading the way, up 20 bips, 47 points to the upside, 23,500 for the NASDAQ 100 futures. 30-year bond futures down 1/3% at 114. Crude oil up 0.5%, pushing 70. Copper flat at 562 for copper flat this morning. Gold also flat, 33.80. Silver down 0.75% at 38, with the VIX down back under 16. Over in funny money land, we got Bitcoin flat this morning, 117,600. You got the old ETH down 0.5%, 37.70 for ETH. You got the old Solana at 177, down 2% and change on the day. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.79 trillion. 3.79 trillion. How do we feel about the morning futures?
Wingstop is up 20% this morning.
Dude. Lemon pepper. The lemon pepper wings at the Wingstop, delicious.
I've still never had it, but I can now.
I got a free brownie the last time that I was at Wingstop because they took too long, I guess. I didn't think they took that long, but in their eyes, they took too long to get me my lemon pepper wings. And so I got a free brownie. Brought it to the
JC went to Wingstop, and as any good fundamental analyst, to do his boots on the ground research, he had a 6-course meal.
I tend to do that, especially in new restaurants. Like I order too much just to try a lot of things, you know, and you know, my wife looks at me funny 100%. And like, you know, But like that's what I do. I do that.
I'll probably never have Wingstop again. I ate it a lot in a very condensed window in the summer of 2020. So I'm good. But
I've only gone twice in my entire life.
Okay. Well,
and
anyway.
Both of those times were awesome. And it inspired me to order lemon pepper seasoning on Amazon. Dude, just make the wings, get a little butter, get them nice and greasy, throw some lemon pepper seasoning on there. Whoo, they are good, man. Let me tell you.
Since we're on the topic of big movers in the morning, yes, Wingstop up 20%. Lending Club. Remember Lending Club? Remember LC?
Are they getting into AI?
Remember Lending Club? Up 25% this morning. What else do we have? SoFi doing what you do when your stock is up a lot. You sell shares, so it's down 7%. It's giving back all the gains.
Who sold shares?
SoFi.
Okay. I thought you meant like Anthony Noto.
No, they're offering. Sorry, they're doing an offering. So giving back all the gains from that earnings pop yesterday, and then some actually. What else do we have this morning? You had a lot of reports here overnight. You had Visa yesterday. You had Starbucks this morning. You had Altria. You had Virtue. I know Steve Lowe says Virtue. Etsy this morning. A lot of names on the docket. You have some M&A. You had the Wall Street Journal reporting that Palo Alto is acquiring Checkpoint.
So Palo Alto's acquiring Checkpoint, huh? Wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Checkpoint is Israeli, right?
Yeah.
About time somebody bought these guys. Why is the stock down?
Palo Alto?
Checkpoint.
Oh, sorry, CyberArk. My bad. My bad.
Oh. Yeah, CyberArk. Also Israeli.
Hand up.
Are you just being racist? You're just grouping all these Israeli
they're all the same to me. CyberArk, Checkpoint, Palo Alto, tomato, right?
These days you can't be racist like that these days.
Yeah, okay.
These are Jewish.
I understand your name is Israel, so you might get a pass on this.
Yeah, right.
Still.
Yeah. As Sam likes to say, these are Jewish stocks.
Yeah, this is Jewish cybersecurity.
Can I just say that companies should hire models to run ads for their clothes or whatever products that they have. They should hire the models that they think are going to make their shareholders the most amount of money.
Who's disagreeing with that? No one is saying they shouldn't.
People with purple hair.
What are we even talking about?
These purple hair people, they're fucking crazy, man. They see a hot blonde making all this money. That's not good.
You're referring to the Sydney Sweeney.
Dude, I was driving in the city on Saturday coming back from the concert, and she was doing the Baskin Robbins. She had like her mouth open eating the ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's great.
That's good marketing. That's good marketing. All right. We talked about the good news. Utilities running hot, right? It's a bull market. Now, slide 2. This puts a little bit of a pause. I saw this. I go, uh-oh, here we go.
Oh, wow.
I don't care about it.
Oh.
I think Caleb nailed it. There's zero signal in a magazine cover like this.
What a turn. What's the opposite of a heel turn? This is a guy going from villain to hero?
Chat, you want to weigh in? Is this a nothing burger? Or is this something that should cause, should have some, we should have some pause when we see something like this. For the record, if you want to throw down to slide 3 quickly. So when this came out in January, the Bitcoin alchemist, Mr. Michael Saylor, this came out on January the 30th, I believe. Bitcoin fell 30% after this. MicroStrategy fell 40% after this. So then going back, go back up one, go back to the, go back to this guy. Crypto's second revolution. That's aggressive. That's aggressive. Second revolution. What do you guys think, guys? Matthew saying it's not The Economist. This is true. This is true. But these are the same people that put the, what is it? The fat Fred Savage. What's the guy?
Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried?
That guy. Yeah. How did that work out? They put him right on the cover. What about that other scam artist, the blonde, one that tried to pretend she was Steve Jobs? What's her face?
I'm sure they put good people on their covers too.
What's the blonde dressed as Steve Jobs? What's her name?
Holmes. Yeah, Elizabeth Holmes. Yeah,
Elizabeth Holmes. Yeah. They did that one too. And what about the guy, the real estate guy?
Look,
the WeWork guy. What's his name?
Yeah, him too. But again, I'm sure they've had good people on their covers over the years too.
How come I can't think of any?
He's making good point. Well, come on. But yes, these are valid points. A lot of shithole CEOs make the cover of Forbes.
Throw up slide 2. Dude, if I'm ever on the cover of Forbes, just fade me all day. Be like, that's it. JC's hit the top. Short him all day. I'm serious. I'm going to short myself. I'm going to short myself if I'm ever on the cover of Forbes.
Do you ring the register in Robinhood here?
Oh, what about the ZB, ZD, DZ? What's his name? ZB?
Yeah, CZ.
No,
CZ.
This is another one, guys, where no one's talking about Binance. It's like nobody pays attention. Nobody cares. This is one of the best looking cryptos. Zoom out on this chart of Binance. You got a 5-year massive range that's just blasting higher right now.
Dude, Wavy coming in hot right here. Fred Savage, I thought he was a young Richard Simmons. Man, that's the quote of the day. Wavy on fire this morning. Shout out to Wavy. Brian, the blonde dresses Steve Jobs. Yeah, that was a pretty accurate description there.
Warren
Binance looks great.
Well, the CZ is not on the cover of Forbes, so that's all right.
Warren Buffett was on the cover of Forbes in 2017.
Yeah, how'd that work out for him?
I don't know. Fine.
Robinhood. I think a good way to take yourself out of this stock safely in a really tight fashion is using the relative trend. We're right at the prior cycle highs, and I think if you go failed breakout there, you want to be on failed breakout alert with the absolute trend too. So that could be a good stop out. The hood SPY ratio, little line chart, take it back to the prior cycle highs. Use that. I like that because this has been a crazy leader. Just consistently outperforming the market for a long time now. Do you still want to own it if that streak of outperformance comes to an end? All right. I thought that people might want to talk about charts on this show, but I guess it's just tabloids.
These are not tabloids.
What do you got?
As a group here who talks about the market every day, particularly archy names like Robinhood, crypto, obviously. We even have a day dedicated to it. I thought that this would maybe cause some pause to some people, and I wanted to weigh in on the chat. These are not just tabloids. Granted, they are by definition gossip columns, to be fair. Whether that gossip column is written by an Ivy League graduate or not doesn't not make it a gossip column, just to be clear. So Strazza is right, but
so the U.S. economy grew at a 3% rate in the second quarter, coming off of a negative growth rate, mind you.
Can you explain what that means exactly? Like it didn't grow 3%. It's like year over year from the prior quarter. Is that what that means?
Yeah, it literally did. So I believe this is GDP, and it's measuring it from the same quarter in the prior year.
Got it. So it's a year over year.
Year over year quarter.
Got it.
So up 3%, pretty solid. Gets us back in the line pretty much where the U.S. economy has been. But we had a blip in Q1 because of the trade war and the tariff stuff. So pretty much it's like business as usual, right back to where we were. What I make of that economic data point this morning. Right? Feels like business as usual out here. Apparently, we're not getting a deadline extension. You guys heard this? Friday's the day.
The only deadline extension I need is for taxes.
Friday's the day.
That's right.
I need a deadline to forever with that.
Yeah, the taxes, that's the one for me. Are you aware, Mr. Steve Strazza, that consumer staples on a relative basis just closed at the lowest levels ever?
Yeah. And you're out here talking about utility stocks. I'm very aware.
I don't know what one has anything to do with the other.
Oh my God. Let's not even.
Let's even. Can we even?
We make lists and you look at something as a market participant and you say, wow, this group of risk on stocks is working. That group of risk on stocks is working. This basket of risk on stocks is working. I'll bet the next group of risk on stocks starts working.
What's that?
And then you could flip that on its head. Check it out. Rocket science. And say this defensive group of stocks is not working. That defensive group of stocks is not working. I'll bet this next defensive basket of stocks isn't going to work either. So that's why staples matter for utilities. They're not just defensive and risk off in nature. They're both bond proxies.
So if bonds are going up, that's good for utilities, or if bonds are going down, that's good for utilities. Explain to me about this bond proxy that you speak of.
Hold on first. Like you have a chart. I know this because I probably got this from you many years ago in your chart book somewhere, and it's XLU SPY overlaid with XLP SPY. And you got them on the same chart, overlaid 2 lines right next to each other. And you got them marked up showing that they look almost identical to one another over time. Call me a liar.
No, I mean, they're low volatility stocks.
So that's why it matters. If staples aren't working,
it's a factor, but it's a factor. It's not a defensive nature. It's a low volatility aspect to it.
I think staples have bond proxiness in them, just like utilities.
So Costco moves up and down based on what the interest rates are doing?
Dude, Costco's different, and you know that.
Oh, Costco, so now it's different. So now the largest component of the sector that you're telling me is a bond proxy. Now that's an exception. What about Walmart? Is that a bond proxy too?
No, because
Walmart that's the second component. So now a quarter of the index that you're telling me is a bond proxy.
Walmart's a discretionary stock.
Okay, not according to Standard & Poor's.
I don't care what Standard & Poor's thinks.
Okay. You're the one who brought up the Standard & Poor's indexes.
We got to use something. I'm not going to make my own.
Can I just tell you how excited I am that Jeff Mackey's building his own indexes that doesn't give a shit what MSCI or Dow Jones or S&P. These are the Mackey indexes. You got the Mackey Consumer Composite. So sick, dude.
He should ETF them. Can I buy them?
I mean, he could if he wanted to get in a shitty business. Dude, the ETF business sucks, man. You got all these people launching their ETFs. They're all broke.
Yeah.
Dude. Trust me, I've looked into it. It's a shittier business than you think. Even me, I went into the endeavor knowing it was a shitty business, and I walked out of there, I had to take a shower. I was like, man, this is even worse than I thought. Woo.
Billy Cunningham. I think it's finally time to short Lilly, jump the entry, and add when it breaks 700. Just in general, first of all, I love this. But I have to be honest. You don't jump entries on the short side in bull markets. Right? Not the game you want to be playing. You could jump entries on the long side, give things the benefit of the doubt in a bull market. I don't know. This Lilly short, I'm not going to do it. We keep talking about it.
I know I'm not in it either.
It's a paper short is what it is. You're short on paper.
Billy, ask Tom Lee and Dan Ives if the ETF business sucks. Listen, there are exceptions to every rule. Every single rule has the exception. Just because 1 or 2 people have a successful ETF, and there's more of them. I'm friends with the CEOs of these ETF companies, so trust me, and they are very wealthy. So don't get me wrong. There's money being made there. That doesn't mean it's not a shitty business. It's
a literal meat grinder. There are ETFs launched every single day, and there are ETFs that close almost every single day, right? I mean,
look, Dan Ives got $400 million in 3 weeks. Great. So you know how much he makes from that? A few $100,000. He might even be at the break-even point now. And by the way, I love Dan Ives. I'm not picking on him. I'm just telling you the way the economics work. $400 million in 3 weeks sounds like a lot of money. None of that goes to his wallet, by the way. It's bad. It's bad. You got to raise $1 billion. You raise $1 billion, you might make $2 or $3 million off.
I actually am surprised we don't see more individually branded ETFs. You had the Inverse Kramer. I don't even know if it's still around. I think
no, they got delisted. That was
stupid. So you got Dan Ives.
They almost never work.
And by almost never work, like 1 out of 1,000 work.
If you really think about it, Spencer, for every one of these that's a smash hit, think of all the ones you forgot about that came and went.
Even the ones that are quote unquote smash hits, like the people doing all the work, none of them are making any money.
Or you just never hear about some of them. They just never make it. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm with JC though on this point.
Dude, I've looked into it. We've talked about it. I've tried. I was talking shit about it on Josh's podcast. All the ETF providers reached out. I'm a very open-minded individual. Very open-minded. I seem closed-minded a lot, but I'm actually very open-minded. And I was like, hey, that would be cool to launch an ETF. Ring the closing bell in the New York Stock Exchange. Go to happy hour. And I realized it's just easier just to go straight to the happy hour.
You didn't always hate the idea. I mean, you gave it some thought. You looked into it, but no, I know you get asked all the time because they start coming to me. I get asked now. JC should launch an ETF. I don't know. Ask him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it didn't suck so much, I would. It's just.
And by suck you mean awesome for the end consumer. Is sucky.
No, it's great for the company that makes the index for you because they make a ton of money and don't do anything. Yep. It's great for the fund family itself that actually takes it. They make a ton of money and don't do any work. And then the people that are actually doing the work, they don't make any money at all. And you could raise billions of dollars and you're still not making any money. So
great for the
It's not easy to raise billions of dollars. So if I raise billions of dollars, I better be fucking getting paid for it.
Maybe we should have Herb launch his own ETF. That would be interesting. I don't think he would do it. But
Herb's a smart guy. He knows what a shitty business looks like. Herb specifically identifies the shitty businesses and he knows just how bad it is.
JC.
Well,
yes.
Why don't we ask him?
Yeah, why don't we ask him?
Bring him on.
Oh, all right. Bring him on. Oh, you're going to say something, Steve, no?
No, I'm going to hold it. I got a whole bit. So we'll save it for later.
All right.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Herb Greenberg, how are you, sir?
I don't know. It's still early. I am caffeinated, but barely.
No, I appreciate you being here early. I know over on the West Coast, it's a little bit early. I lived on the West Coast. I know what it's like. But in the West Coast, people go to bed earlier and wake up earlier than they do on the East Coast, where they tend to stay up late, wake up late.
This is true, and I have a bulletin here, a news flash. This is fresh news. There's the tsunami concerns that have been going on here about 4 miles from where I am. But Jeff Mackey, he lives literally right there. And I spoke with him this morning and he said, no waves. So he's okay. So everything's okay.
And Jeff Mackey would know, this dude, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, my time. And I'm going through charge doing my thing. And I got Mackey texting me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Me too.
You too. I'm like, dude,
7 a.m. for me. It's 4 o'clock in the morning for him.
No, I wait until 7 o'clock in the morning my time before I text you guys, or 7:30. That's when you'll probably get my earliest ones for you. So you're 7:30, my 4:30. Even so, my brain still gets in sync. At 6 o'clock my time is kind of whatever. But today I'm good. What's going on?
Herb, I don't want to give everything away. Because this is the morning show and we got a special live event today at 2 o'clock. We're going to dive into some pretty spectacular stuff. So Spencer, if you want to drop the link, if you haven't signed up for it today at 2 o'clock, please do. We're going to have a great conversation. Herb and I look at the markets in very different ways. And I love that about him. The last thing I need is another chart monkey. I got plenty of those, right? I mean, let's be serious, right? So I love having a guy like Herb by my side to bring me ideas that I wouldn't be looking at otherwise, from a perspective that I certainly don't have. So to me specifically, that adds so much value. I look at slide 2. Herb, like I said, don't give away the farm because we got a big event today at 2 o'clock. But when I see something like this, and then I see that there's another one and another one, I see, I'm a trend follower. I see trends. Like, this seems to be a theme of these things just getting absolutely destroyed. Is it as simple as these are just more Chinese scams?
There was another one. There was another one yesterday. Yeah, there was another one yesterday, and most seem to be Chinese related. I don't know if the one yesterday was Chinese related, but they're picking on these companies. They're finding companies that have fallen from grace, and they're basically, these scamsters are basically coming around and starting to promote them and getting through their private clubs that they create on WhatsApp, pulling in people who know nothing, who think they're going to be in the market, who think they're going to be insiders. And they hear that and they go, ooh, that's good. I'm going to get some insider information. They hear a company is going to be acquired because their special insiders know what's going on. And, you might not want to get in because we hear the deal is coming in 1 week, blah, 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 blah. People come in. This morning, I have heard from people literally from all over the world, including this morning from somebody who was taken by this scam yesterday. And the person said, I lost $60,000. I am in the security and investigations business. I should not have been taken, but even I was. And so you get this, and I'm telling you, it's pulling in. I was talking to somebody yesterday who's in the investment business who said, yeah, I got one of these come-ons. He obviously didn't take it because you can see them a mile away. But I think this is actually something important. I view it almost like
Herb, can you explain what is it that even somebody who's in the investigation business who should know better, like what is it that's happening that is so convincing? Can you explain to the audience, like what is it that's going on?
Real simple. They take somebody who's a celebrity, it could be, I showed David Costin from Goldman Sachs. It could be Jim Cramer. It could be me. It could be you. It could be anyone who has a following of sorts.
Are we celebrities? Is that what we are now?
I always call myself a D-level celebrity. So if I'm a D-level celebrity, actually in today's world, if I'm a D-level, you're probably a C-level because you're not as
Herb, you're an influencer. You're an influencer, Herb.
I am an influencer. I was an influencer, and I'd like to be considered that. Some people might say I'm a defluencer.
You're like OnlyFans for math nerds,
No, I wouldn't say for math nerds, but for old people, but young people too, because I think what's old is new. And I think young people can learn from the old people, and to say you can't, I think is absolutely making a mistake, but that's another story. What they're basically doing is they're taking these people, they're creating AI images of these people, AI videos of these people. They're putting ads on Facebook and Instagram and all sorts of places saying, hey, join my investment club. And people say, hey, Herb says join. They haven't used me to the best of my knowledge, but I'm sure they will one day. Now that I've tried to expose their scam, they'll say Herb has invested me to his investment club and he hates these scams. So this is legit. And I say, hey, join this. This is a good thing. And these people come in and in effect, suck you in, get you involved, maybe actually give you a legitimate stock or two, because in this market, everything's going up. They're going to give you some stocks that are actually rising. They get you in, they make you some money, they tell you to sell, and then they pull you into the one that they're going to use to really start bidding up. And it's one you've never heard of. Shh, don't tell anybody. You're in our club. And then comes the rug pull. They pull out the rug. And you can see a stock, as happened yesterday, as happened with the one I wrote about, has happened with quite a few. Literally within an hour or two, these stocks, or even faster, these stocks go from 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 to close to zero.
And when you say that there's another one yesterday and there's more of these, just throw up slide 3 so you can see. Just throw up slide 2 and 3 just so you can see it's the same stories, both of them. Just go over both of those. This is Parka Biological Technology, random, and then the other one was Austin Technology Group, and there's more of these. Should we expect more of these to come?
I think I call it it's a whack-a-mole sort of strategy because it's so hard to catch. If the scamsters are in some other country, the FBI actually is on the case, and I know they did find with an earlier company, they found the scamsters and they put out an all-points bulletin for these guys, but they're in Malaysia.
What's an all points bulletin?
I'm just making that up. They put out. They're trying to get these guys. They're like on the most.
Dude, it wouldn't surprise me. I thought that was like a thing, like that you knew that I didn't know, because that happens all the time.
You show just how gullible. You just show how for that very reason they can suck people in.
I don't know anything about that stuff.
And because I'm supposed
line go up, Herb.
Because I'm so supposedly credible, whatever I say, you'll say, hey, Herb said it, even if I didn't say it, because I am an AI image of me.
Or they just make up terms like all points bulletin.
That sounded right to me, to be honest.
They make up terms, by the way, and they have terms. And one of the things I wrote, I should go back and look at it in the early piece I wrote. I was looking at some of these things they were using, these terms they were using, and I was going, What are they talking about? But if you don't know anything, you know, most people who know nothing about investing, and including, I would say, people who know about investing, when you start hearing new acronyms and new things, nobody wants to admit they don't know what it is. For the people sitting out here, the first time you heard SPAC, did you really know what it was? And did you really say, oh, because people started to just use SPAC over and over and over again, even though special purpose acquisition company is nothing anyone really talks about, these blank check companies. So I think, but when
funny
you
enough,
get into the
that's
world,
what I used to call them before I knew what a SPAC was. We used to call them blank check companies,
because that's what they
and
were.
then they started calling them SPACs.
It's sort of like meme stocks. Meme stocks were concept stocks. Meme, for some reason, became this generation's or this period's, moniker for stocks that are going to just be squeezed to high heaven until they come crashing down.
Memes have been around forever. We just didn't call them those things. Like gold, you know, gold is the greatest meme, is the first meme coin ever, for example. You know, Bitcoin is a meme. Jesus Christ is a meme, right? Like this goes back centuries, right? Like this is not a new thing. We're just calling them something different, right?
We're calling them something different. And the difference, though, is the structure of the market has made all of this very different. And the structure of the market, as it has changed, as it relates to things we've all talked about now seemingly for years, the algos, the pod shops, the changes, things that have come in that have changed how trading occurs with more velocity, faster movements. And that's made it more challenging for people. It doesn't mean in the end the fundamentals aren't going to bear out, but it means that if you're going to be short something, or you're going to be avoiding something, or whatever you're doing because you think it may have too much risk, you're going to watch it first, take off, and then you're going to think, oh my goodness, FOMO, and you're going to hop on right at the wrong time. Or you might. Again, there's some of these transcend time. I always talk about that. Some of these always transcend all of the BS. They raise cash. They use the cash to do something. Sometimes they can get themselves out of the jam, or sometimes they get themselves deeper into the jam. It all depends.
You know, let's take a step back for a second. Some of you guys in the audience might not be familiar with who Mr. Herb Greenberg is. Wall Street legend over here, not Spencer Israel. Herb Greenberg, Wall Street legend. Spencer Israel,
legend.
One day.
Wait, whoa. Legend in my own mind.
No, bullshit. No. Come on, Herb. Give yourself a little bit of credit. You've been around for a minute. Like you were a legend 25 years ago. You were a legend, and now here we are. Like
I don't use you know what? I appreciate the kind words. I don't use words like legend or any. I just do my thing. I just really come in. I do my thing. I know. I kind of have an idea of what I'm doing. I stick with what I know, which is generally just pointing out the risk, because I will tell you, and I'll say this because I know your audience has a lot of people who are really enjoying the trades, and I think that's great. But I always just have that one thing. What do I keep saying? You hear me saying it over and over. Oh, shut up, Herb. I'm sick of hearing that. Respect the risk, because it will bite you when you least expect it. And all you have to do for anyone who's only been around for a few years is go back and look at 2021. What happened in 2021 is going to happen again and again and again, possibly with more frequency in a more compressed period, or we may end up with one of those periods that takes forever for things to come back, or we won't. Nobody can see the future. Everybody's just trying to figure this out themselves at the same time, and some people will be right. You know what I used to say back in the older days? When people, before there was a thing called the internet, what I used to do is there would be somebody who would be anointed, suddenly the guru. They'd be the guru in the sense of they would be the strategist who called the market top or called the market bottom. And in those days, I always joked, it was the person who was lucky enough to have been quoted at that moment, on that day, right before it all happened, who then became a superstar. And it really did build careers of quite a few people. And today, of course, it's just things are moving so quickly and you can't remember who said what yesterday or who says, who's going to say what tomorrow. So it's a very different world, but still the same patterns, as you know, JC, because you study markets. You really study markets and you study patterns. And you're the first person to say these are all variations of things that have happened for many years.
Yep, no question. We're getting some people in the chat that remember you for many, many years. A lot of fans, a lot of Herb Greenberg fans, not surprising. Wavy, who's been on fire this morning, shout out to Wavy, says, Herb is the man. I remember him from the Green Mountain Coffee days.
Don't remind me of the Green Mountain
Can you
Coffee
tell me
days.
what happened? What happened with Green Mountain Coffee?
Green Mountain Coffee is one of those situations where the risks were correct. You had all these risks. What happened with Green Mountain was this. Green Mountain came out. Remember, everybody remembers the Keurig, the predecessor of the Keurig machine, or the creator of the Keurig machine, also was known as Green Mountain Coffee. In my estimation, I thought this stuff was swill. I like coffee. I did not like anything even equivalent to it. I couldn't believe, and this is where I was out of step. I couldn't believe anybody would want this thing to have their morning coffee. But as you know, it became a big success. But the company became very aggressive in the way they were promoting themselves, and the stock was really becoming, it was one of those early concept stocks. And the management, there was some shade, I wouldn't say shady, there was some questionable things going on. There were a number of class action lawsuits filed that actually had in their amended suits some really interesting allegations that would make it appear that the company was really goosing its results to look better than it really was. Well, you could see lots of things going on in the marketplace with the company's financials and with their accounting. Didn't really matter because the stock went up, then the stock got clobbered, but it didn't get fully clobbered. And then what happened is it got acquired. Yeah. And that acquisition came right when you would have thought things would actually start to really ultimately crush the company. But in the end, this is something short sellers get wrong. I certainly have gotten wrong in my life, and it's something I've learned. I'll use Applebee's as an example, the restaurant chain. I don't eat at Applebee's. And I don't know, I haven't watched Applebee's. I don't even know if Applebee's trades anymore. But it was a stock that fooled a lot of people. It's like saying Denny's, I don't eat at Denny's. Well, just because I don't eat there or I don't wear this piece of clothing doesn't mean that will not be a great success, because that is often a mistake of investors, is putting their own likes or dislikes on something and thinking they know. Sometimes you do. Sometimes your instincts are very good, but it's usually a world beyond that. And I think it is a trap for shorts and longs, both sides. And so in the case of Green Mountain, though, it is something that the company ended up, look, it was controversial as all get out. And I was on both sides of it because sometimes, again, it's about duration. Sometimes these stocks go up, then they collapse, and they have their collapses, and they're like yo-yos, right? And so every side can claim to be a winner. But in the end, it was a fascinating tale that's a good case study for everybody to take a look at.
We're going to have a great conversation today at 2 o'clock where we're going to talk about process, and Herb's process is very unique. I talk to a lot of traders and investors, have for many years. And what I love about Herb, if you want to throw up the link there, Spencer, what I love about Herb is that Herb is very open-minded to where he gets his ideas. Herb's talking to a lot of people, whether he's on a walk or whether he's in front of his computer screen or whether in a car to the doctor, right? Constantly having conversations. He's got connections where, quite frankly, he'll just stop whatever he's doing and pick up the phone because, this person tends to be right. And there's probably something interesting that person is saying. I really, really love that. I also love Herb, you got to be humble in this business and understand where you don't have an edge. And I love the fact that if you very specifically, if you can't wrap your head around the situation and you just can't understand it and you're not going to spend the time to learn something, you just walk away, right? Walk away. But if you're in it and you really want to learn more, you're going to bust your ass to learn as much as humanly possible about that business, whether it be multi-level marketing or rare earth metals, like things that you would never know anything about. And then hold on, I got one more thing to say because I think that this is really powerful. Herb's ability to do that and learn a lot very quickly, doesn't that come from all your years as a journalist where you're forced to do that?
I think being a journalist, the wonderful part about being a journalist is you become a mini expert very quickly. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's a skill you hone over a long period of time because unless you're covering something, a specific beat, and most people do at some point in their careers or did back in the day, you just never know what's going to come your way. And as you're learning, unfortunately, AI is probably taking some of that over today for some really young reporters. But as you're learning, you're picking up skills on how to learn things quickly. And some people and analysts are sometimes like this as well. They have to get up to speed, and you get up to speed as quickly as you can, and you look for little things that you can, sort of hook onto or that interest you. I was recently, a number of months ago, I was working on a company called Erie Indemnity. It's kind of an insurance company, and it isn't, depending how you want to look at it, but it's insurance related. I don't know much about insurance, and when I first heard the word indemnity, somebody was mentioning the company to me because it was an algo-driven stock, but yet the fundamentals were kind of funky. I said to myself, I said, indemnity? Oh, please. And then I took a look. And then I started going down rabbit holes. And then I said to myself, oh my goodness, this is a heck of a story. And because I like there to be a story. I like there to be something interesting that I can get my claws into. And I thought to myself, boy, as I was a journalist, this is the kind of thing you could spend an enormous amount of time on, because there's something interesting broader than this company going on here. And hey, the company's in Pennsylvania, and why isn't the insurance commission doing this? Anyway, this is all going through my head. So I picked it up, learned a lot about it. I'll be the first to say I forget what I learned, because it's often in the moment, highly concentrated. And at that moment, I can be as conversant as possible, because I spend a lot of time. It's like MP Materials. Oh, do I look foolish on MP Materials? Oh, yes, I look foolish on MP. The reality is, wouldn't change a word in what I wrote. But in the 2 weeks it took for me to really, and I say 2 weeks because that's a lot of time for me to put aside for something. But as I started, you talk about digging through the mine, trying to understand literally the minerals that are involved here, and the geology, and the rarities, or what's not rare, and what's done here, and what's done in Malaysia or China. It took time. And I feel I was very conversant on what was going on at the company and what their risks were. And I enjoyed the research. It was tremendous, especially for a guy who, didn't really pay attention to the, periodic table of elements back in the day, or at least I don't remember.
The Herbalife situation, having to learn about, multi-level marketing, which is probably not anything that you thought about prior to that. I'm always fascinated by that. We're going to talk about this sort of thing later this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, Herb is a humble guy. But the truth is, there are legends that come on this show. Herb is absolutely right at the top of that list. And as a technician, as somebody who's friends with a zillion chart monkeys, right? The last thing I need is another one of those. I got plenty. They're some of my best friends in the world.
You know what I always say? Hey,
Herb's perspective is very different. Adds a lot of value to my process.
JC, I believe firmly, if I look at the row of the people watching this right now that are commenting, I believe firmly, if I looked in that list and I said, who among you consider yourself hybrid traders as opposed to only technical traders? There are some who say, hey, yeah, I'm definitely looking at the fundamentals as well, because among people who are technicians, there are all sorts, right? There are people who use technicals for all sorts of things, because everybody has their own process. And so I am speaking generally to the hybrids out there, hoping that some of it rubs off on the technicians, the pure chartists, the people who are just coming in trading, because among those who just trade, I guarantee you there are some who, as they age and as they get more into it, will start becoming interesting. They realize they're interested in certain companies, and they have investments. They're not all trades. Some are really investments because they believe the fundamentals of the company, or they believe the story, and some really want to learn more. So I think by absorbing what I do, JC, even if you're not interested in the concept of what I do, it has nothing to do with short selling. It has to do with the risk. You will learn. You'll continue to figure it out, and it'll only be a store of value, an educational store of value for whatever you're going to do in the future, because that's what all of this is. It's constantly, just when you think you figured it out, boom. I always say that. Just when you think you figured it out, I don't care how old you are, you'll learn something else will come along, and you're only human.
So a couple of things. First of all, I learned over the years, with All-Star Charts research for over many years and the blog over many years, that a lot of the people that were coming to us, fund managers, financial advisors, they were fundamental guys. They would come to us for the technicals. They were not technical guys looking for more technicals. So I find myself in the exact opposite position here, coming to you, not so much for the fundamentals as it is for the ticker symbol itself that I should approach from a more bearish perspective, or from a more cautious perspective Well, I'm much more open-minded generally when I'm looking at a chart. I'm down for the get down, whatever. When I look at your names, unless they're a green flag, in which case you're bullish, but when you pull out a red flag, I am looking at that from a bearish perspective. That in and of itself, I don't even care why. As long as you care why, that's good enough for me. I'm going to go look at that name and look at that from a bearish perspective or from a more cautious perspective than I would otherwise.
But you may come around even from your technicals and think, hey, Herb's going to get slaughtered here. At least his reputation is going to get slaughtered. And I would say that what you get from reading the type of work I do is you can also look at the perceived mistakes. I look at the mistakes I made over the years. When I say mistakes, because remember, everything is my choice on what I'm going to write. I have a lot of incoming and I have to decide which one do I like. And it can be just because this person has always been a fantastic source. And so I will then look, I have to go dig into it. Everyone's thesis, by the way, everyone's thesis in general makes sense. Everybody can make a good case for why they're long or short something. So that's not, and these are all smart people. Everybody's smart in their own right. But you can also learn from the mistakes and you can learn from others' mistakes. But again, asterisk, just when you think, yeah, this one was wrong because of this, the next one, it seems like it, but it fools you and just does the opposite. So it's all part of the store of knowledge because nobody's 100% correct, right? But you need to still respect the risk. There's risk in everything. I need to just say this. I have a green flag I'm putting out today. Don't put out many green flags. And I was going through it with the portfolio manager. And one of the first things he said is, and he has a lot of money involved in this company. He said, I could be very wrong. And he's done more work in this company than perhaps anyone. So of course, he's also a short seller by nature. So he has that in him. He understands that level of risk. And I wish more people understood the level of risk.
That stock looks great. We'll talk about it later this afternoon, but that stock does look great, by the way, Herb.
Okay.
I got one quick story. So I don't know. This must have been like 8 months ago or so. We're out in San Diego, and I'm texting one of the guys in our studio. We have a studio in San Diego. I'm texting one of the guys, hey, meet me at the studio tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I'm bringing Herb, right? And he's like, okay. So we get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm there a little bit early. And I was like, he's like whipping out a bottle of champagne. And I was like, dude, what are we doing? He's like, you said you were bringing the herb. I'm like, no. Herb Greenberg. He's like, oh, I thought we were meeting this morning to wake and bake and smoke pot. I'm like, no, man. It's like a Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not smoking.
Do you know?
Not herb.
Well, do you know that people who are younger, right? People who tend to be under 40, I would say, when they see my name, they have such a difficult time with it because they've never met somebody named Herb. So they'll go, Herb. And it's like, no. Older people will call me Hank because they think of Hank Greenberg, the baseball player. And so, people, I just say, hey, whatever you call me, I'll answer to it. It's fine. It all works.
Herb, growing up in Miami with all these Cubans, in Spanish, you don't pronounce the H. What would they call you?
Humberto.
They would call you Humberto. That sounds right. Okay.
Not right. I answer to Humberto.
Nice. Humberto. I don't hate that. I don't
either. I actually like that I actually like that one.
And I do got a bone to pick with you. As somebody who bleeds orange and green, Herb Greenberg, a graduate of the University of Miami. When was the last time you went to a Canes football game, Herb?
Never.
Oh, my God. Get him out of here.
All right, but wait a minute.
Put him in the bathroom.
Wait. My brother probably has never missed one. He's on the Orange Bowl committee, or he was on the Orange Bowl committee. So he's sort of he does that for me.
With you, Herb. I can't even.
I'm just not. It's not my thing. But by the way, can I tell you something?
Orange Bowl. You never went to the Orange Bowl for a Canes game?
Oh yeah. I think I went there probably once. Can I tell you one? I went there for the Dolphins game back in the old days, that kind of stuff. But let me just tell you something. I will say this regarding the Canes, and this will no one, including you, will understand this. When I was growing up, I lived in a little part of Miami called West Miami. It's actually where Marco Rubio lives, but it was just a basic little square mile almost community, one of the 27 municipalities, and I delivered the Miami news every day. which was the afternoon newspaper. And I had to go out and get people to sign up, right? So I knock on the door, and this nice woman says she'll take it. And it turns out it was George Myra, who was the former quarterback of the University of Miami.
A long time ago.
I'll never forget, a long time ago, never forget, he had this new car outside, which he had won because he had, whatever had happened. And he paid me once, nice guy. And because I used to have to go collect every Friday night. He went and collect. He had punch cards, boom, 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 showing my age, but I really don't care because everybody today is going to show their age at some point in the future. So people are going to say, God, remember that AI thing? So anyway, it is, yes, that is my Kane story. Just the way I am, man. Just the way I am.
Herb Greenberg from West Miami. That's where my grandmother still lives. Herb
Not
Greenberg.
truly West Miami. She doesn't live in West Miami.
67th and Coral Way.
Well, no, 67th and Coral Way. Coral Way is not in. 67 Coral Way is north of West Miami. 67th on that corner is not.
It's right around the corner from Coral Park. Coral Park, the alma mater of Herb Greenberg, the alma mater of my mother, and the alma mater of Jose Canseco.
Jose Canseco. There you go. Plus a few other big baseball players. We had a great baseball team.
Big trader, big stock trader, Jose Canseco these days too.
And on that note, Herb, we'll let you run. The markets are open. Guys, the link to be at today's event is on the screen. It is in the chat. It is in the description. 2 o'clock. It will not be on YouTube, so don't go there. You won't find it. It'll be on our site and our site only. Herb, we're looking forward to this. It's going to be good.
Should be fun.
See you too. Adios.
Later.
All right. And on that note, as I said, markets are open. Let's skedaddle, shall we? We got a busy day today. Like I said, we got the thing with Herb and JC at 2. If you are a member of Hot Corner, you'll get your weekly video. If you are a member of All Star Options, you'll get the latest All Star Options Mastermind. Riley going live with Godspeed. His weekly show is at 5 o'clock. He'll be previewing the big tech earnings that we're going to get kind of today and tomorrow. So a lot to do. Not a lot of time to do it in. So let's go. Everyone, we'll see you out there. See you tomorrow. Go make some money. And good luck out there.
I used to go to phone parties.
Yeah, that's gross.
It's a Miami thing.
All right.
It was anyway.
Yeah.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off.